Matthew 22, beginning at verse 1. And Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden, that's invited, to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their way, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then said he to his servants, The wedding party is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guest, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. And then said the king to his servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Now, please remain standing. Now, the English version of that 11th through 14th verse reads this way. But when the king came in to look at the guests, he saw there a man who had no wedding garment. And he said to him, Friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment? And the man was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, Bind him hand and foot, cast him down into utter darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's hell. The man is cast into hell. And then the king says, For many are called, but few are chosen. So the man didn't wear the wedding garment, and he was bound by hand and foot and cast into hell. I came here to ask you this question this morning. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Take your seat in the presence of the Lord. What are you wearing? I have waited for some time now to preach this message. I particularly was waiting for one of our fourth Sundays. For those who don't know, that Greater Money back in 1992 began what was called Casual Attire Sunday, which would be the fourth Sunday of every month. That would be the Sunday that we would come dressed casually and worship the Lord. But now, as time has passed by, Casual Sunday has become every Sunday. What are you wearing? Two little boys were talking in the hallway of the elementary school one day. One boy announced proudly to the other boy, we have a new baby at home. And the other boy said, what is it, a girl or a boy? And the little boy said, I don't know. They haven't put any clothes on it yet. Clothes do make a difference. Imagine, if you would, with me just for a moment or two, that we're on a flight from Los Angeles to Memphis, and you're getting on the plane with me, and as I board the plane, there's a man standing in the door, and I tell you, I know that man, and you say, how do you know that man? I say, I know him. He's got on a dark uniform. He's got on a shirt with an epaulette on the top of his shirt, and on that epaulette are 4 stripes, and he's got a hat. I said, that's the captain. I know his training. I know what he's been through. I know what he does. I know he's going to fly us home Even though I don't know him personally, I know what he does. He's the captain. How? Because I see how he's dressed. Then I sit down in my seat, and there's a lady walking down the aisle, and I say to the lady, I said, would you mind bringing me a Coca-Cola? And she says, certainly, sir, and she brings me a Coke. Well, how did you know that? Well, I watched what she was wearing. I saw that she had on a certain uniform, and I recognized that she was a flight attendant. Therefore, as a flight attendant, I knew that she's going to, try to make me happy. So she's going to bring me a Coca-Cola because I recognized who she was, and I understood what her duties were. You see, we look at each other the same way. Clothes do make a difference. We do look at people and make a determination by what we see people wearing. Now, someone would come quickly and run to me and say, oh, the Bible says don't judge one another. Well, you're misinterpreting that because all of us judge. You have to judge to a certain extent. I mean, when you meet a person, you're going to look them up and down. You're going to determine if this is somebody that I want to be around. You're going to have to discern, is this a nice person, a bad person, an evil person? Is this a criminal? Is this somebody I want to be associated with? You make determinations, but what? What's the first thing you make them by? You look at what they're dressed in, how they are dressed. You make a determination by simply what they wear. Clothes certainly make a difference. What am I saying? I'm simply saying that the clothes we wear speak and tell a lot about us, revealing the kind of person we are, what kind of mindset we have, our culture, mannerisms, upbringing, training, character, and even class. And sometimes it's low class and sometimes it's no class. We live in a culture that no longer has a single dress code. People wear all kinds of different garbs to all kinds of different places. And I'm sure all of you would have some stories about the things you've seen people wear inappropriately to places where you knew they shouldn't have worn them. The sign on the door said, no bare feet, no flip-flops, no bathing suits, please. Clothes do not make a person, but clothes are important. In fact, our clothes sometimes give us a sense of identity. If you're walking across any campus, you might see some people wearing something that says Old Navy. It doesn't mean they're in the Navy. They're wearing something that says Nike and doesn't mean they're a Greek mythological god. The fact is that everything that you wear is interpreted by other people in a certain way. Anything you put on, people are going to look at you, they're going to examine you, and they're going to make an interpretation, a determination about you purely on what they see on you. Let me segue a little bit from this. There's a man by the name of Donald Sterling who's made the news recently, and he's always concerned about what certain folk are wearing. Donald Sterling, this rich man, owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, became the buffoon of this nation when the other day he told his black girlfriend, the owner of a basketball team, an NBA player, told his black girlfriend, I don't want you hanging around black folk, and don't you invite black folk to come to my games. One of the most racist statements ever made to his black half Mexican girlfriend, and says, don't take any more pictures with that Magic Johnson. Don't invite him to our games anymore. I don't want you hanging around black people. I don't want you posting it on Instagram, you being around black folk. Don't bring black folk to our game. He spoke directly of Magic Johnson, who is his socioeconomic equal. It's not about how much money we make or social status or money, because Magic Johnson is a billionaire. He owns the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team. So it's not that. Magic Johnson could not escape what he was wearing. What was Magic wearing? His skin. This man, Donald Sterling, made a determination about Magic Johnson, who he saw in a picture with his wife, not based on the content of Magic's character or his financial prowess. He made a determination based simply on the skin of Magic Johnson. He did not like the skin that he was wearing. People make determinations about you. Yes, they do, according to what you look like to them. Are you dressed appropriately for church? Suit and tie, dress in heels, jeans, t-shirt, shorts, tank top. Does it matter what you wear? When I was growing up, I remember the fancy clothes that everybody wore to church. The women put on big hats and the men put on suits. Men who never had a chance to wear a suit and tie ever on their job occupation. Men who picked up other people's garbage. Men who dug holes for a living. Men who worked in factories and warehouses, wore brogue boots and overalls every day of the week. But on Sunday morning, they had a suit, and they jumped up and threw that suit and tie on. We began casual Sundays back in 1992 as a means by which we could come and worship God as a casual body, not casual believers. We made a statement saying, okay, on one Sunday a month, we're going to put on some jeans and tennis shoes and T-shirts, and we're going to come. But even in that's got to be appropriate. We got to look at even the jeans and the T-shirt. Now, I ain't said no cutoff jeans with your butt cheeks showing out the back of your jeans. I didn't say tank tops where you jiggling up and down this aisle. I didn't say seductive or provocatively dressed clothes. I said that every child of God has to make a determination about what we're going to put on. Because listen to this carefully. It's not essentially about what you wear. It's about what's inside you that determines what you wear. Did that help anybody? I'm not as much concerned about what you put on as what's in you that made you determine you could put that on. I'm worried about you when you decide in your own mind it's okay for me to put this on and come in the house and worship God. I'm scared for you. I'm actually scared for you because you're showing a blatant disregard for the reverence of God. Is this making any sense? What has happened to us as a people, as a society, that we become so casual on an aspect of God that we can honor the dress code of a nightclub? You'll do what the nightclub says because you know they'll put you out. So you'll dress up for the nightclub and come to church as you are. Pray with me now. My son Ronnie and I have a favorite restaurant in Washington, D.C. called the Prime Rib. Whenever we're in D.C., we automatically go to Prime Rib. But guess what about Prime Rib? Prime Rib is so classy, I mean, every president of the United States has eaten at Prime Rib one time or another. One of the most exclusive restaurants in Washington, D.C. But guess what? To get in the door, a man has to have on a coat and a tie. In this age, you think, boy, coat and tie, boy, that's really a stuffed shirt. That's so formal. Golly, I don't like that. Well, you probably ain't got the money to eat there anyhow. But sometimes you pay a certain amount to get a certain thing. You understand? But now the interesting thing about the Prime Rib restaurant is that if you don't have a coat and tie, they have one for you. They'll go to a closet, look at you, size you up, bring out a jacket that they think will fit you, put that jacket on you. They'll pull out a tie and put that tie around your neck. Here's the crazy thing. Even if you have on a polo shirt. Am I right, Ronnie? They'll put that tie on your polo shirt because they're making a statement to you. The rule is coat and tie. If you want to eat here, dress appropriately. What is it about us that resent the formality of certain things? What is it about us that make us hateful toward rules and regulations? What is it about us that makes us want to go against the grain all the time? What does it say about us that we admire boys with their pants down off their butt? What does it say about us that our young girls are allowed to dress and look like prostitutes? Don't you dare get mad at me. I'm speaking the truth and you know it. I don't care about your feelings. This is God's truth, and I'm anointed to preach the gospel in truth.